middle school. I'm glad you all could be here. Like I said, this is kind of a dual, a joint meeting here. I was supposed to go to a swim and dive parent meeting at 6:30, but I have a sick kid at home and am unable to make it. So we're kind of making it work however we can. So we're going to kind of combine them, and then swim and dive will leave after I talk, and Coach Gaddis will be able to talk about just basketball. So once again, glad you all could be here. I am recording. If you do not want to be on the YouTube video that I'll put onto YouTube for those that miss or want to go back and review it, just make sure your stop video is clicked and you will not be in the video. So first thing I'm going to talk about is our medical procedures, what we do whenever there is an injury like concussions or anything like that, or COVID. I run everything that I do through our corporation nurse, Brooke Wagner, and the nurse at the middle school, Kay Roberts. They will clear everybody for me. I'm not a medical professional. Neither of our coaches are medical professionals, so we don't want to make those decisions. So we kind of let them tell us what we should be doing, and that's how we follow it. So the important thing for you parents to know is that if your student is COVID positive or if they have some type of injury, first and foremost, our nurses are probably going to tell you to take them to your family doctor or to somewhere to get checked out. And then they'll want that information. So contact the nurses as soon as something like that happens. And oftentimes they will kind of help us figure it all out. So they do all of that for us and make that process a little easier. So please, if anything happens, if anything, medical happens, COVID, anything like that, please contact our corporation nurses and that'll get that squared away, and they will make those decisions for me so I can tell the coaches. It's really worked well doing it like that. We used to have like the impact testing stuff. We don't do that anymore. And this has worked pretty well. So it's definitely a good change. Next thing I want to talk about are grades. Obviously we expect them to be students before athletes. We at Yorktown, I personally check grades at the quarter and at the midterm. And so when midterm grades come around in I think we're about 3 weeks away, I will check grades. And if your student athlete has 2 or more Fs in classes, they are immediately academically ineligible. Now, what it means to be academically ineligible is they are allowed to practice with the team, but they cannot travel with the team and they cannot participate in any games, including home games. So the reason we let them practice is because we think it provides them with motivation to get those grades up. They want to be around the team. They want to participate, and they kind of see what they're missing out on. So hopefully that encourages them to get those grades right. And the reason they are automatically academically ineligible is we don't want to put a lot of pressure on our teachers to grade 15 missing assignments the day before midterms, because that happens sometimes. So when I check, it is what it is, and they're ineligible for 2 weeks. And then after those 2 weeks, I recheck. If those grades are better and they have fewer than 2 Fs, they are immediately eligible. If not, then it's another 2 weeks. Now, the way this season goes, that second 2 weeks puts it near the end of the season. It's not a super long season. So it's very important that we make sure that midterms are right, that we're not, slacking on any of that stuff. I don't think preliminarily checking, I don't think a lot of the grades were very rough. So I think we're good. But once again, don't let midterms sneak up on you. Make sure everything's good to go there. When it comes to playing time, I defer to the coaches. So whether we're talking basketball or we're talking swim, both those coaches are there every practice. They see what the team looks like with so-and-so starting or so-and-so swimming this event. And I rely on them fully. They see the kids playing more than everybody else. So I back them on that. Now, all of that said, If there's ever a conversation that a student wants to have about playing time, or a parent, we're open to conversations like that, but there's definitely a time and a place. We like for that to come first from the student. It's good for them to have those talks. And it's kind of getting that age where they need to have some of those conversations, and they need to know what they need to work on, and what they need to do to get to where they want to be. And our coaches will be honest with them. If there's not effort shown in practice, or if they're just a little behind skill wise, those are conversations coaches have, and kids need to hear those things. So we like for it to come from there. But obviously, if a parent ever has a question, our coaches are approachable. I am approachable, but there's appropriate times. After the game is over on the court is never appropriate. After the meet at the side of the pool, we're not having talks like that then. Coaches are ready to go home. They've worked really hard, go home to their families, or go home and have dinner at 8 o'clock at night. So we don't want to have those conversations then. Please message me, email me, or email the coaches, and we can set up appointments for those conversations. But once again, like I said, we like for those talks to happen first with the athletes. So conduct, obviously, we expect our players to be examples. So when we go certain places, I like to hear that Yorktown fans, Yorktown players were great, and we'd love to have them back. We were happy they came. There are times when emails are sent to other schools and said, hey, this didn't go very well, can you please address this? And I don't often receive emails like that, so I appreciate that, and I'd like to keep that up. Obviously, you as parents and fans kind of set the tone for the kids. If you are positive and cheering, they typically are positive. If you are yelling at officials, they typically start to get angry with officials. So they feed off that energy. And obviously, we tell the kids not to act that way. And it's just nice to have that modeled in the crowd. So this is something I always like to say. We typically don't have any issues like that. We do have schools that come and they have issues like that. And I'm pretty proud that we don't do that typically. So like to keep that up. COVID changes. It changes all the time is kind of my answer there. Right now, we don't have any restrictions at any of our home games. We don't have a mask requirement. You will see people. I will be in a mask at all games, and it's something that's optional. Now, the only thing is it is not optional on bus rides. The students and the coaches have to have a mask on bus rides. It is a federal mandate. It's not something the corporation has decided upon. If your kids ride a bus, I'm sure they already know this. So when we go and when we travel, make sure that your student always has a mask on them, because they will have to wear it on the bus. It's to the point now where a lot of our bus drivers are, if I get a complaint, a lot of them will be like, listen, if they're not going to wear a mask, then we're not going to take them to the games. So gotta have it. It's not a rule we made. I've gotten those emails before. It's not something I personally am telling anybody. It's we're being told to do that, and we could have consequences if we don't enforce it. So that's kind of where we are on that. Always make sure that your kid has a mask in their equipment so they can have it on the bus, because we got to have those masks on buses. Fan attendance, like I said, right now, we are not under any type of restriction. Tickets are going to be $5, whatever event you go to at home. Sometimes it's different other places, but really at this point, $5 is what you're going to see most places. So we're also not running all sports passes this year because we were worried about COVID, and we didn't want to have to worry about a bunch of refunds because of cancellations like we had a couple of years ago. And last year we missed a lot of games last year because of COVID. So we didn't want to run into that. So we decided against all sport passes. We're going to revisit that next year, but we're looking at $5. Most places will be that. Some places you go are requiring masks. Cowan does require all spectators to be masked at all times, unless they are eating or drinking. I know Muncie schools are also doing the same thing. So when we go those places, there will be mask requirements. So Our players already will have masks because they have to have them on the buses. I always try to communicate to families before that happens, so hey, I need to have a mask if I go here. But that's where we are right now. No place I know of has any restrictions on fans yet. We're not doing vouchers like we had to do a couple or last year. We're not doing any of that stuff right now. We're not limiting how many spectators we have. So right now we're good. That could change, but right now it's looking pretty good. Concessions. I know Swim and Dive is going to set up their own concessions at the high school. We do have concessions at the middle school. Right now we are only doing soft drinks and candy. We're not doing any popcorn. We're not doing any of the hot dogs and stuff like that. That was mainly a construction issue. We didn't want to have debris going in a hot dog and having to deal with stuff like that. So we're kind of through that right now, but we aren't at the same time. The building is looking a lot better. If you haven't been in, it's pretty different, but there's still some construction going on. So just as an extra precaution, we're not doing those things. But we do have limited concessions. So that is there. Let's see, seating. Right now, we, always encouraging social distancing, especially with the uptick in cases that we have recently, but we're not doing the X's like we did before, where you have to sit certain feet apart. We're not doing anything like that. Just kind of be cognizant of those things. We don't like to have the contact tracing, but that's been happening. So always want to be hesitant with that. Let's see, schedules. If you go to yorktownathletics.com, you're going to find the schedule, and it's going to be the one that updates. If you were a part of any athletics last year, things change. And they have been changing this year. If you've been a part of anything earlier this year, times change because of busing issues that some schools have had. There's issue getting bus drivers and buses at certain times. So there's been time changes. With construction, we've had to change a few of our own events. Obviously, there's some teams that have been quarantined this year. So always checking yorktownathletics.com and looking at the calendar there is going to give you the most up-to-date schedule I have. Along with that, if you would go to Twitter and follow YMS Athletics on Twitter, I personally update that Twitter account whenever anything happens. So if we cancel a game, if practices are canceled due to weather or due to whatever, I always post those to Twitter, and it's immediately when I find out, sometimes before the coaches even find out, if I know right away. So if you do anything on Twitter, you should follow YMS Athletics, and things are up to date there. Now, if you comment on things that I have up there, you probably won't get an answer because I never check any of the mentions or anything like that. I don't use it aside from basically posting updates. I don't really communicate any other way there. If you really want to communicate with me, dmoody@yorktown.k12.in.us. Email me. I will get back to you most of the time day of. So I'm always checking email. I've got tons of emails all the time. So I'm always doing that. Contact me that way. Last bit of information that I have. We are going to do pictures on the 21st. Let me double check that date here. Yes, we are going to do pictures on January 21st. There will be a post on Twitter that will allow you to purchase those pictures online. We haven't been handing out the hard copies of picture order forms, but I do post that online. It's super easy to go click the link and go purchase pictures. It's been a lot easier for people. So we will do the pictures then. I will do the girls' basketball pictures right after school. It'll be a different practice time for them. They're going to just switch with 7th grade on that Friday and practice right after school until 4:30 so they can get pictures in. And then obviously right after that, the camera crew is going to go over to the high school and they will do pictures for the middle school swim team, probably around 3:30 to 3:45, depending on how quickly they get done with the 6th grade girls. So that's picture day on January 21st. As we get closer to that date, you will see the post for the order forms on Twitter. So look out for that. I'll pin it on my Twitter at the top as well. Aside from that, does anybody have any questions for me specifically? If you do later, don't hesitate to contact me. You can get a hold of me, and I will answer any of those questions. At this point, I'm going to go ahead and let swim and dive go. If you missed any of this meeting, I will post it on YouTube, and I'll post that link on Twitter, and you can go rewatch whatever you missed. Aside from that, I'm going to go ahead and goodbye to swim and dive parents. I will see you later. And Coach Gaddis, if you want to go ahead and take over, it is yours. I think you're muted. There you go.
All right.
There you go. We can hear you.
Hello. Yeah, sorry, I'm in my car because a lot of you know that we had practice. So I am in my car. So sorry about the lighting. So yeah, so my name's Callie Gaddis. It is spelled Kalle. Just a little bit about me. This is my first year as sixth grade coach at Yorktown. I coached sixth grade at Minot Central for 3 years. Moved over to Yorktown. I've been coaching seventh and eighth grade until this year. So this is my first year with the sixth graders, and I'm kind of excited to see how the season goes. So I do kind of have sort of a list, just some things that I feel are very important as a coach. I do need to go over. So to start out, weekly practices. We are more than likely going to have weekly practices. That means Monday through Friday. Most of the time it is going to be 4:30 to 6. That's just going to fit my work schedule, and the eighth grade boys practice after us. So 4:30 to 6, more than likely Monday through Friday. If you don't hear otherwise, it's Monday through Friday. I will let you know if it's not. Yeah, Monday through Friday, 4:30 to 6. Uniforms. I told the girls I'd let them know about uniforms. I will hand out uniforms. I was trying to kind of wait until I had all 13 girls so everybody could kind of pick out, and I didn't have the smallest girl have the largest uniform. There won't be any specific numbers. It's just kind of whatever fits you, fits you. Kind of some of the girls that asked me about numbers, and if that jersey fits you and that's your number, then all for it. I'm for it. With the jerseys, I do have some requirements as a coach underneath. If a player decides to wear like a shirt underneath of their jersey, it needs to be gray, black, white, or green. In the past, I've had girls wear neon green or neon yellow, neon pink. It just doesn't match with the uniform. And I think the older you get, I think there is ISHA rules that you can't have different colors. So with that being said, gray, black, white, or green. If it's like a long sleeve, if it's a t-shirt, if you can see it underneath your jersey, those are the colors that it needs to be. Socks, I don't really care about socks. They can be whatever color. I'm all for different color socks. Yesterday I handed out a order form to the girls about shooting shirts and Yorktown gear. That is from an eighth grade parent. We did that last year and they were pretty cool. So last year we did shooting shirts. They're like the half sleeve and they have the hoodie on them. I believe the varsity players have them this year. So that order form needs to be turned in by Friday. If Riley, hopefully Riley's watching this, Riley's supposed to message me to remind me to bring in my shooting shirt to show the girls tomorrow what they look like, because I have 2 of them from that parent. So I'm going to show them, that way they can kind of decide what they are wanting. If everybody gets a shooting shirt, we will wear that before the game, on top of their uniform, but I can go over that with the girls. But that order form needs to be turned in by Friday with the money, so I can give that to the parent so they can get those going. Okay, now on to the games. Riding the bus. As a coach, it's not Mr. Moody's thing. As a coach, I expect the girls to ride the bus there and to ride the bus back. They're a team going there and they're a team coming back, win or lose. The only exception obviously is an emergency. If they have a legitimate excuse, I need a signed piece of paper that they're not riding the bus back. but more of the chances than not, I want them to ride the bus back. Like Mr. Moody said, the masks, you have to wear a mask on the bus. Oh, there will also be an A and a B game. Please don't ask me who's on the A and the B team. I don't know. More than likely, I don't know that ahead of time if it's going to be an A and a B or if it's just an A game. So all 13 girls are going to go. I don't have a set A and I don't have a set B team. Right now, it's who shows up to practice, who's going to give me their best effort. Riley, who's going to give me their best effort at practice? That's how I'm going with the A and the B. I'm not defining 13 girls, one A and one B. That's not how I coach. Staying after school, Mr. Moody didn't really kind of hit on it. So he might kind of chime in here. If the girls are going to stay after school for riding the bus, they have to let me know, and I will ask them before if they are going to stay after. I have to be there. I am the only coach, so I have to be there. I can't just have a girl stay there and me not know about it. I have to know ahead of time that that girl is going to stay. I know a couple of the girls have been going to the library, which is totally great, and they're just walking over. So that may be an option. I know in the past some of the girls have gone to Pizza King. Once again, that's another option. But if they do stay after school, I have to know about it. They can't just stay after school. And that's fine if they do. Just tell me so I can be there and so I can get off of work and come be at the school with them.
Right. Yeah. They're if they are at the school, they have to be supervised at all times. So yeah, good catch.
Okay, just a few more things to wrap this up. This year I'm one coach. Some of you may know my sister. She has coached with me in the past. Honestly, all 8 years that I've coached, we've kind of coached together. This is the first year that we're kind of not coaching together. Her work brought her in a different direction, and my work, I'm still here. So I am one coach this year, and there's 13 girls. So please, if you have a problem with your daughter's playing time, Mr. Moody kind of hit on it. I, as a coach, have a 24-hour rule. If the game is done and you have a problem with your daughter's playing time, come to me the next day. Everything has simmered down. We can talk about it. And if me and you or you and I cannot settle it, then we will schedule an appointment with Mr. Moody and then we will talk about it. But like I said, as a coach, I personally have the 24-hour rule. I've been approached way too many times by parents while players are around. It is not fair to the players, and honestly, it's not fair to me. So as a coach, I have the 24-hour rule. If you come up to me after games and start talking to me about your daughter's playing time, I will not have a conversation with you. And it's no disrespect, but I'm going to say that first of all before the season even starts.
Can you pause for just a second? So I did notice there's some other people joining here. We have like 23 in here. Definitely not all for basketball. I had to miss the swim and dive meeting because I have a sick kid. So I went through a lot of the stuff earlier. I am going to put this on YouTube. So if you are a swim and dive parent, you have any questions, you can email me. But yeah, I will put this on YouTube so you can see whatever I talked about at the beginning and missed it. So swim and dive parents, catch that on YouTube later. All right, go ahead.
Okay, like I said, a few more things just to wrap it up. I don't know a lot of the teams that we're going to play. Like I said, this is my first year as a 6th grade coach. But with that being said, when we're going into games, I'm not the kind of coach, I'm not going to run up the score. I don't see a point in it. As 6th graders, you can score all the points in the world. It doesn't necessarily mean that you're a good team. It just might mean the other team's not as developed. So with 6th graders, that's not my intention. Obviously I want to win. That's a very good goal of mine to win. But it's not my only goal. My goal is to help these girls get better every single day. And honestly, you can ask some of them. We've kind of done the same repetitive thing the last 3 practices because I want to instill in them a routine to get better, to do the basic fundamentals. Okay, so yeah, so one last thing here. So order forms for the gear must be on Friday, pictures on the 3rd, practice. So I had mentioned earlier, practice, I will let you know on the 21st, that practice will be after school. So I'm letting you know a full week in advance. the 21st on pictures, our practice will be after school. So the girls will have pictures. They will stay for practice until 4:30. So that is the only day that is going to change that week. More than likely, the rest of the time it's going to be 4:30 to 6. On the 21st, it is more than likely going to be at 3:30 to 4:30. It's what practice is going to be. Yes.
I can go
Okay.
ahead and share the schedule. I've got that on here. I'll share my screen.
Oh, okay.
You can keep talking.
Oh, okay. And then Coach Margie, the varsity coach, she actually reached out to me and wanted the roster for the 6th grade girls, and I went ahead and gave that to her. And she had asked me if I wanted to have the 6th grade girls introduced during the varsity game, and I said it would be a great opportunity. So on the 22nd, it is a Saturday, unfortunately. There is a varsity game. I have no idea who it's against, but the 6th grade girls will be introduced. They will be introduced after the JV game, before the varsity game. So she said that it's going to be between 10:45 and 11:15. When that next week, I will get you guys more details as to when they can get in, if they have to just sign a piece of paper, get in for free. But that is something that I want to try and have all the 6th graders there for, to be introduced during that game. So that will be on the 22nd. It's an early morning game. And then one last thing to wrap it up, practice on Martin Luther King Day. I had a couple people ask me. It is going to be an optional practice. However, and I say this wholeheartedly, however, we have a game on the 19th. I have not had one practice with all 21 girls or with all 13 girls there. So please, 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 it is optional. And I'm saying that, and everybody hears me say that it's optional. But please remember that we have a game, the girls have a game one day after that. So optional, please be there if you can. I cannot hold it accountable if you are not there, but please be there. It's optional. And it will be 4:30 to 6, and we will have the whole gym. And I know that probably does not mean anything to the parents, but the girls, we will have the whole gym, and we can actually do full core things. So, yeah, so with that, to wrap everything up, like I said, my name is Callie Gaddis. If you guys have any questions, most of you guys have my phone number. You can text me, you can email me. I think my email address is on the Yorktown website. You can definitely email me, text me, whatever. Any questions, send them my way. Other than that, I'm kind of excited for the season. So, yeah.
All right. Anybody have any questions for me or Coach Gaddis? I see we have 42 people in here, so the last woman died. I'll explain all that in just a second. So
I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
This is Christina, Kaylin's mom. She's home this week. So I need from Coach Gaddis the order form for the shooting shirts.
And must be moving to the zone.
I don't know.
Happen along this girl basketball team.
Hold on just a second.
So
over here. Let me see.
No, aquí, urgente, the parent meeting. Now we are in Zoom.
Okay, I'm sorry. What was the question again?
Order form for the shooting shirts for Kaylin.
I'll take a picture and I'll send it to you.
Thank you so much. And the other question is on the game days, how early should they be in the school for them to ride the bus?
It's really going to depend. Like Mr. Moody said, the schedule is kind of changed. It's really going to be one of those things where I'm gonna say it the week of. Mr. Moody has already said that the buses have changed. Schools are, whatever the case may be, I will let the girls know ahead of time what time they need to be there.
Yeah. So I send out a weekly calendar to all the coaches, and I put all the bus times on there. The reason I don't do it well ahead of time is like we said, we've had this change already this year. I have changed more than 10 game times because of bus issues for other schools or just COVID. Maybe one team can't play. just a lot of things have changed with us. We have construction issues that's changed some things. So it really kind of depends. If we're going to Daleville and we have a 5:30 start, our bus is probably leaving at about 5 o'clock. If we're going to Mount Vernon and we have a 5:30 start, we're probably leaving at 3:45. So it really depends where we're going. And it kind of depends on game times. City schools here play at 5 o'clock. So if we play South Side, North Side, Anderson Highland, those are always going to be 5 o'clock games unless they have bus issues, which they have had this year. So, and I don't find out those game times sometimes until the day before, because that's just how sometimes that works with them. So it just depends. But we try to get that to you as soon as we can, as soon as I feel comfortable that that's what the time is actually going to be. So, once again, for those that are swim and dive, I am going to put this on YouTube. A lot of what you needed to hear was before we talked about basketball. I know Coach Gernon is going to have a meeting with you all individually. I couldn't be there today, but this will be on YouTube later, probably tomorrow morning, and you'll be able to see anything that you missed. So, does anybody else have any questions?
I do. I just, hi, Chelsea King, Taitlin's mom. This is for Callie. I was just going to tell her, because Taitlin's symptoms are diminishing. The nurse said that she could come back as soon as she was symptom free for 24 hours. So she probably won't be there tomorrow, but she'll be there Friday. Is it okay if I come in to practice tomorrow and grab one of those order forms for the shooting shirt tomorrow and look at that? Is that okay? Or
Yeah, you can do that. Or like I said, I can send a picture of it to you. And if she's going to be there Friday, you can just
Okay.
send the money with her on Friday, whichever you want to do.
okay. I expect her to be there Friday. If she continues, I mean, she's been, fever free all day today. So, but I just want to make sure that she's healthy before we send her back. So, all right. And, if I do work at PVE, so if you need some help for those days, I don't know how that works, or if I would be allowed to help you out on the days that they need to leave, so you wouldn't have to leave work so soon. I would be willing to help you out too. So
if you want to send me a letter and I can put you on as like an assistant, like a helper, and get you board approved really easy. That
Okay.
would help. I'm sure that would help them out a lot. Because I know
Yeah.
Callie, sometimes it's tough for her to get here due to work and
Right.
stuff. And
Right.
yeah,
And
that's.
I mean, I would
always
have to be
helpful.
here anyway for her. So like if that,
So,
I meant,
yeah, if
would
you,
be helpful.
Callie, just want to talk to her and just give me a
Okay.
letter and.
perfect. Yep.
Okay.
Okay. And I think that's it. That's all I needed. I just wanted to keep you update on her. So.
All right. Any other questions? Okay. Thank you all for being here. I will be putting this up on YouTube for anybody that needs to rewatch it. If you have anything that you need to talk to me about, you don't want to talk about in the group, dmoody@yorktown.k12.in.us. Email me there and we'll talk. Follow YMS Athletics on Twitter. It's awesome. All right. You all have a great night, and I'll see you all at the games. If anybody that stays has any questions for me, I'll stay for a little while and answer anything anybody has.
Hey, Dustin.
Yes. How you doing?
Pretty good. Hey, I was told the meeting was at 6:30, so sorry we came in late.
No, it was. I have a kid sick at home, and so I planned to be there at 6:30, but then obviously that kind of got in the way. So real quick, I kind of talked to Coach Gernon and I'm like, hey, I've got this meeting that's going on at 6. Can we, join them all, do like a 6:10, 6:15, and I'll just go over the stuff I need to go over. And then Coach Gernon does plan to talk to all of you later on as well.
I apologize because I thought the Zoom was going to be at 6:30 because when I asked,
yeah, it's just been one of those days. You know how it is with all this COVID stuff. Things just kind of. I wasn't even at school today, so.
Oh, dude, I hope you feel better.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I knew it was kind of gonna be rough getting everybody informed right away, and Coach Gernon did all that he could, obviously. I do plan on, whenever he has that talk, I will probably be there to answer questions in person. But obviously I didn't know, I wasn't sure when that was going to be able to happen. So I wanted everybody to kind of be invited to this and be wrangled in with it. And it'll be on YouTube later. But you've gone through this talk. It's the same one I give basically for cross country, stuff like that. So.
Okay, well then we're good.
Yeah.
All right. Listen, I do hope you feel better. I hope your family's safe.
Yeah, we got a baby, you know how they are. Anytime they sneeze funny, it's like, all right, we're going to the hospital. So I think everything's good, but just being overly cautious probably. So
as you should. Well, take care, my friend. Thank you. And
thank you.
Hope things go well. Bye-bye.
Thanks. See you.